film begins in space, surrounded by the remains of Nostromo. A detector from the Weyland-Yutani Corporation picks up a sample from the ship's remains. A team of researchers then take the remains of the xenomorph with them for further studies. On the Jackson Star mining colony, a young orphan named Rain works long hours alongside her only companion, Andy, a malfunctioning android she affectionately calls her brother. Though glitchy and prone to errors, he is her closest friend in the harsh environment of the colony. Rain dreams of escaping her mining job and tries to terminate her contract, but she's crushed to learn it has been extended for another 6 years, trapping her further. Her frustration deepens when she sees a group of local troublemakers bullying Andy and beating him up. She steps in to save him and painstakingly repairs his damaged systems. Out of nowhere, Rain receives a video message from her ex-boyfriend, Tyler, sparking an unexpected twist. His voice, urgent and filled with desperation, pleads for her to bring Andy along for a secret mission, one that promises to change everything. They arrive at Tyler's base, where they meet his sister Kay, their cousin Bjorn, and Navarro, the no-nonsense pilot and Tyler's girlfriend. The group lays out a daring plan. They intend to infiltrate a long-abandoned Weyland-Yutani ship and steal cryostasis pods. These pods are their only ticket to freedom, a journey to the distant planet Yavaga that would take a grueling 9 years. Andy is the key to their success. As an android, he's the only one who can bypass the ship's security systems. But Rain isn't so sure. She's uneasy, filled with doubts about the dangerous path they're about to take. Her fear grows. What if they get caught? What if Andy, the very thing they rely on, becomes a pawn in a deadly game? Despite her hesitation, Tyler's determination wins her over. He insists it's their best shot at escaping this mess. 6 of them board the mining ship, the Corbellin, and soar toward the sun above Jackson's Star, feeling the heat as they approach their destination. After a tense flight, they arrive at a massive space station, split into 2 sections, Romulus and Remus. The crew can only wonder what secrets the place holds. Andy teams up with Tyler and Bjorn to search for the cryostasis pods, while Rain stays behind to look after Kay, who's feeling unwell. But as he checks on her, something feels off. Her growing discomfort hints at something deeper. It doesn't take long for him to realize the truth. Kay is pregnant. When Rain gently presses her, she admits it but begs her not to tell Tyler. Meanwhile, as the others venture deeper into the station, Bjorn's cold treatment of Andy becomes impossible to ignore. At first, Rain doesn't understand why, but Navarro eventually explains, revealing a shocking truth. Bjorn's bitterness towards synthetics runs deep. His mother died in a mine collapse, and the sacrifice of her life, chosen by a synthetic who prioritized saving a dozen other miners, has haunted him ever since. It's why he can barely look at Andy without seeing the past. Finally, the group reaches the storage area where the pods are kept, but the sight that greets them is anything but what they expected. There are only 5 pods, not 6, a shocking discovery, as Andy was never meant to be part of this mission. Company rules strictly forbid synthetics from joining humans on such journeys. But it's not just that, there's another problem. The fuel reserves for cryostasis will only last for 3 years, far less than the 9 years they need to reach Yavaga. With their options quickly running out, it's clear. Nothing is as simple as it seemed. The danger they're walking into is only just beginning. The group then finds a lab on the ship, where Andy stops Bjorn from walking straight into a massive hole in the floor. As they explore further, they come across the top half of another synthetic, adding to the eerie atmosphere. They continue deeper into the ship until they enter a room that suddenly locks behind them, trapping them inside as the ship goes into lockdown. Nearby, a wall filled with frozen facehuggers begins to thaw, setting the stage for a dangerous confrontation. Rain and Navarro head to help the guys while Kay stays behind to rest. They find the damaged synthetic, which briefly jerks back to life before Rain removes its module and replaces it with the one from Andy. Tyler helps with the process, and after a moment, Andy reboots. At that moment, the facehuggers start jumping into the water, and one almost attaches itself to Bjorn's face. Rain tries to break the door open while Andy fully powers up and stops a facehugger from reaching Tyler. The group quickly flees the room, but the facehuggers begin chasing them at an alarming speed. The crew manages to seal the door behind them, but Navarro is attacked, and a facehugger attaches to her, leaving the group in even greater danger. While they try to remove it, Andy reboots and becomes more focused and loyal to Weyland-Yutani. To figure out how to save Navarro, they reactivate a dead synthetic named Rook. When he comes back to life, Rook warns them that they're all in danger because a xenomorph is about to attack. He explains that this is the same xenomorph that attacked the Nostromo and was thrown out of the airlock by Ripley. The researchers on the Romulus station were killed by it when they discovered it was still alive. Although it was eventually killed, its acid blood destroyed the ship. Rain comes up with an idea to freeze the Facehugger's tail. The plan works, and Navarro wakes up. However, Rook makes it clear that they're still in grave danger. Bjorn and Navarro try to run to the Corbellin, but Navarro starts feeling sick. Using an X-ray flashlight, she sees that a chestburster is growing inside her, which Kay also notices. Navarro collapses and starts foaming at the mouth, and then the chestburster bursts out of her chest, killing her in front of Kay. As she dies, Navarro's convulsions cause her to hit a lever, which makes the Corbellin crash into the Romulus hangar bay. The crash sends the ship toward the Jackson Star asteroid belt, and they have less than an hour before it will crash. Rain and Tyler head to the hangar, while Rook talks to Andy about their mission as Weyland-Yutani synthetics. Andy rejoins them, and together they try to increase the station's temperature to hide from the xenomorphs. When they enter the hangar, they discover the bodies of the Romulus crew. Meanwhile, Kay and Bjorn try to escape. They come across the xenomorph that came out of Navarro. Bjorn tries to fight it off with a cattle prod, but its acid blood begins to burn through him. He slowly dies as the acid continues to melt through his body until a large drop finishes him off. Kay contacts Tyler as the xenomorph starts chasing her. She manages to make it to the others outside the hangar, but Andy realizes the xenomorph is trying to get them to open the door so it can kill them all. He refuses to help Kay. Despite Rain's protests, she accidentally reveals to Tyler that Kay is pregnant. The xenomorph then grabs Kay and pulls her out of sight. Now focused on his mission for Weyland-Yutani, Andy leads Rain and Tyler into a lab, where they discover a disturbing mixture of human and alien DNA, which Rook calls the Prometheus strain. A video plays showing a test on a sick rat using this mixture. The rat heals from its illness, but the video cuts off before they can see the rest. Then, Andy gives Rain and Tyler rifles to defend themselves from the xenomorph. As they leave the lab, they fail to notice the rest of the video, which reveals something horrifying. The rat begins to mutate, eventually becoming a dead hybrid in its cage. The three of them walk down a corridor and discover Kay, unconscious but alive, trapped in a xenomorph cocoon. Tyler is about to inject her with the DNA sample to try and heal her, but Rain stops him. Instead, she focuses on getting Kay back on her feet so they can reach the ship. Before they can leave, the creature strikes, using its tail to grab Tyler and kill him by thrusting its second mouth into his face. Rain quickly leads Kay to safety, telling her to make it to the ship while she goes back to find Andy. Once Rain is gone, Kay, in a desperate attempt to survive, injects herself with the DNA sample. Rain finds Andy and removes his module to return him to his old self. However, Rook warns them that escaping will be impossible. Just as they start to lose hope, Rain gets an idea to turn off the gravity as a group of xenomorphs approaches them. Without gravity, they begin to float, and Rain fires her rifle at the xenomorphs, killing some. But the acid blood from the aliens splashes everywhere, and Rain almost floats into it. She uses the recoil of her rifle to push herself away from the dangerous blood, and finally gets to safety. They get back to the Corbellin with Kay, just as the Romulus begins falling into the asteroid belt. Rook tries one last time to get Andy to follow Weyland-Yutani's orders and return with the DNA sample. But Andy and the others ignore him, and Rook is destroyed along with the rest of the station. Rain puts Kay in a cryopod as they head toward Yavaga. However, her condition gets worse as the DNA mixture affects her pregnancy. Her stomach grows quickly, and she starts giving birth in intense pain. Rain helps her, and she gives birth to an egg-like pod containing a hybrid or human and xenomorph. Rain tries to take the egg out, but its acid makes it slip through the grates. She goes to find a weapon for protection, but when she returns, the hybrid has fully grown into a creature like the engineers. It feeds off Kay's chest, killing her, and also badly damages Andy. As the temperature in the ship drops, Rain puts on a spacesuit. She tries to separate the cargo pod from the ship because the damage from the offspring's birth is making it fall toward the asteroid belt. While trying to pull the levers to release the pod, the offspring attacks her. They both end up outside, hanging on to the ship. Rain uses her harness to pull the last lever, sending the pod and the creature into the asteroid belt, where they are destroyed. Rain then puts Andy into a cryopod. Before going into stasis herself, she records one last log. She's unsure of what they will find on Yavaga but feels hopeful that she can handle whatever comes next.